I love my current desk setup for work, but I've always dreamt of having a separate gaming desk setup. So over the last month, I've been working on turning this random area in the studio into something a little more special. I'm super happy with how this setup turned out. It's a space to wind down, take a break, get some headshots in before getting back to work. Plus, I think it looks incredible at night in the dark with the ambient smart lighting and decor. It's a little gaming haven, but this setup isn't just for gaming. It doubles up as a multi-purpose creative station for when other people in the growing team come over to the studio, they're able to work right here on this new desk. So after a lot of planning, building, and even some mistakes, I'm really excited to share the entire build from start to finish with you, the accessories and tips and tricks. I hope this video gives you some inspiration and ideas for your own gaming setup or home office, and thank you to Secret Lab for sponsoring this video. As always, the first thing to do is to declutter and clean this space up. So I removed the random furniture here, and even though this space is really small, there's still a lot we can do, and I personally think it's always about making the most of what you have. And also, please don't be intimidated by all the gear in this video. A lot of this stuff I've collected over years and years, and it wasn't gathered all at once, so don't feel bad, we all start somewhere with our setups. The next thing I did was jump on Pinterest and create a quick mood board of desk setups I love, and very quickly I noticed that in so many gaming setups, I saw a Secret Lab chair and desk. So when Secret Lab agreed to send out some gear for this new desk setup, I was super excited to try out their stuff. I've heard a lot of good things, and I was no joke blown away by the quality of the gear. You'll see what I mean later in this video. So after bringing in all the heaviest stuff first, let's unbox the Secret Lab Magnus Pro, which is the sit-stand desk I'll be using at the heart of this setup. This is the standard size Magnus at 1.5 meters long. One of the things I realized when unboxing all of this is how crazy good everything is packaged. Like you can see here, everything is organized and labeled to perfection. And that makes the building process a lot easier because, building a new desk setup is time consuming and takes a lot of effort. Even the supply toolkit is aesthetic and the tools itself are great quality. Things like this go a long way when buying an expensive desk. Something else I appreciate with this new setup is the integrated power supply and cables. The power outlet is uniquely integrated into the legs of the desk, which I just attached to the pre-built power supply underneath the desk. This is a big difference to the other sit-stand desks that I've built. They're a pain when it comes to cable management, and even with a lot of work, you can still see here that the cables running down my sit-stand desk to this day are all over the place. I personally cannot stand wires, and I'll show you the difference with the Magnus Pro when it's completely built. It's time to flip this desk over and put on some finishing touches. This is the cable management cover for the back end of the desk, and it'll help make the mess of cables disappear later. Pulling the protective cover off, you can see how slim this desk is, and here is the sit-stand controls with preset buttons and a really useful locking button to prevent accidental height adjustments. Yeah, I've almost broke camera gear in the past bumping into the sit-stand desk control panel, so yeah, this is actually quite useful. So what happens when you get a full metal desk like this and the Secret Lab accessories are all magnetic? Well, you get a chick magnet. Okay, that's a pretty bad joke, but you do end up with the most convenient setup and accessories that can just be changed around by snapping stuff on and off. Even the perfectly sized desk mat is magnetized, so it snaps into place. It's really kind of satisfying. Next up is mounting the PC itself. I'll be using the PC mount to save some precious desk space by hooking up the PC to this mount and underneath the desk. This way it sort of just floats there, and the airflow intake for the PC fans are optimal. I know you guys called me out for leaving this PC on the carpet floor in my previous videos, and I heard you, so now it's floating. This workhorse powering the gaming setup is built with an Asus 6900 XT GPU, AMD Ryzen 7 6800X, and a couple of 2TB M.2 SSDs. The Define 7 dark tempered case here goes really well with the blackout desk, surprisingly. I'll leave a link on screen if you want to check out the full build of this PC, but yeah, it's quite the weapon and powerful to run almost all games maxed out and for Premiere Pro workflows. The headphone hanger here magnetically snaps almost anywhere on the front or side of the desk. It's pretty sweet to be able to change its placing around, unlike my other desk where once it's stuck there, it's stuck there. So this is where my Razer Barracuda headset will live. So right now the desk looks plain, so we're going to add some smart lights to this setup. This is the diffused light strip made by both Nanoleaf and Secret Lab. Technically it's supposed to go into the crevice of the cable management bar here, but I like my smart lights behind the desk to reflect off the wall, so I switched it over to there instead. So it's looking loads better now, but wait till you see this setup at night. As for the monitor, I'll be using the Gigabyte M32UC I've come to love for gaming, and I'm hooking it up on this Magnus monitor arm for a clutter-free and minimal looking space, and I personally like when a monitor looks like it just hovers in your field of view. This 32-inch monitor is also slightly curved for an immersive experience, and pair it up with the fact that it also supports 4K and up to 160Hz refresh rate via DisplayPort 1.4, and you've got the perfect gaming display for smaller spaces like this one here. Now for cable management, I used the included magnetic leg covers to hide the remaining cables, and also for the monitor arm here I snapped on these nice looking red magnetic buttons to keep cables in place. There's also a cover for the monitor arm itself that I didn't use, but yeah guys, this desk makes cable management way too easy. So this desk is finally starting to come together, and also as you can see, did I mention how heavy this desk is? To help hide the remaining cables in the wall socket, I'll add this pot plant here. I think adding some greenery into a space, even a gaming setup like this, helps relax the space and makes it that much more cozy. Just don't tell anyone that it's an artificial plant though. Okay, so with the foundation complete and all set up, let's move on to the desk itself and the gear I've set up here, which I'm sure is the part that you all love the most. For a gaming setup, the peripherals are really important to stay competitive when gaming online, so I've got the Razer DeathAdder V3 and also the Razer Deathstalker V2 Pro keyboard. The DeathAdder V3 mouse is an absolute beast when it comes to a precision gaming mouse with 30,000 DPI, and the Deathstalker V2 Pro is also super responsive for gaming. You can't go wrong with these as a gaming pair, and I think they look so clean in the black and white aesthetic in this gaming setup. I've also got a PS5 controller in arm's reach for sessions on F1 or Forza Horizon. It's obviously loads more fun playing on the controller for these games than a keyboard and mouse, but I should probably eventually invest into a gaming steering wheel. Drop a comment below if you have any suggestions for that wheel. For immersive sound, I've set up the trusty Audio Engine A2 Plus speakers in black to complement the black hat aesthetic. I've been using these desktop speakers for years now, and I've yet to find one that looks and sound better than these. Pro tip though, get stands for your desktop speakers to angle up, because otherwise for the A2 Plus speakers, highs are noticeably muted because the tweeters on your desk fire towards your chest and not your ears. I also have easy access to the Razer Barracuda headphones that I mentioned, which will be great for when I need accurate 3D audio for FPS games like Counter-Strike and listening to footsteps. So I mentioned earlier that I want this desk set up to also be an editing station for others who come into the studio, so I got this Thunderbolt dock to add more ports right here on the desk for convenience, which is going to be really important when we dump files from our SD cards, or even if I just want to charge the mouse or keyboard directly from the desk, I can just do that right from the Thunderbolt dock here. You can never have enough ports and connectivity in a setup, honestly. Now, one of my favorite parts of this setup is this incredible 3D wood panel art made by hand. I think it's made of separate cubes of oak wood, so it's actually really heavy. And I've hooked them up with these 3M claw hangers, which is so easy to install, and a single hook can hold up to a pretty bonkers 40 pounds. The cubes of oak wood diffuse the lighting really nicely, gives the wall some interesting texture, and just looks incredible at night when gaming. It makes as the perfect centerpiece in an otherwise empty looking wall. And finally, I'll add in a couple more smart lights to lift the gamer vibe of this space with Govee's glide wall lights shaped around the wood panel art, and this should bring out the oak cubes that much more and frame this space nicely. I really enjoy being able to set the lighting color, brightness, and lighting effects to suit the mood and weather outside. And so, with the lights off and only the smart lights on, I think this space is looking incredible. What do you guys think? To To give this setup that extra layer of structure it's currently missing, I'll break it down the middle and add some much needed organization to this desk with one of my favorite desk accessory brands, Grovemade. This package here is their new small desk shelf in matte black, and the extra small size of this shelf should fit in perfectly with the Magnus desk. Aesthetically, the matte black style is also a perfect companion to the dark desk tone, so attaching this shelf all together was easy enough, being made of quality power coated fireboard and ebonized cork with sumi ink. I've also got these new small and medium sized desk trays in dark cork, and these will neatly hold some useful things when I'm working on this desk. I love the fact that Grovemade finally made new tray sizes so we can make full use of the shelf space, and they fit perfectly as you can see here. So you guys know that I love Grovemade, and it continues to be a staple of my setups. They're pricey, but to be fair, I've owned my pieces for years now, and most of them look as good as new, in big part thanks to the build and quality material used like hand sculpted cork and Japanese calligraphy ink to give it that beautifully dark hue and long life resistance. If you're a fan of Grovemade too, you're in luck. I'll drop a site-wide 10% discount code in the description box below for you guys to check out. For the finishing touches to make this desk setup that much more cozy and aesthetic, I've moved the PS5 controller to the left and added a bonsai tree that I feel is right at home on this desk. Yet again, don't tell anyone that it's artificial. Real bonsai trees are so hard to maintain. Something I almost always have on a desk as well that I've got to add here is a desk light bar. This is an affordable one for like 49 bucks on ErgoTune. It helps reduce eye strain from the monitor and creates a really nice warm atmosphere when it lights up the desk at night. Of course, I can't forget about the thing we all used to sit, a chair. This is the gaming chair. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. It's Secretlab's Titan Evo chair. It uses a hybrid leatherette blend and the stitching work is pretty incredible. This is my first time sitting on one and it fits me like a glove, and it feels like I'm sitting on a Recaro racing seat, but make it comfortable. Plus there's a ton of adjustments available to fit exactly how I want it to. 4-way lumbar support, plenty of side support, and a full-length backrest for your head too. It works well as both a gaming chair and for general work use. The coolest part though, pull this lever here and boom, it becomes a lie flat chair with an insane 165 degrees of recline. Gotta make sure your butt and back is as comfortable as it can be, you know? So I'm really happy with how this setup turned out, being able to carve out this small space and transform it into an area I can unwind and comfortably get some gaming hours in, because we should all work hard, but also of course play hard. Using it at night has been a blast. It looks amazing with the smart lights and is just a great vibe while looking pretty minimal and modern, I think. I appreciate the fact that this desk setup doubles as a productive editing station for the growing team, which is a big bonus. So using the desk for weeks now, I'm still blown away by how practical the Magnus desk is. Cable management hasn't been easier than this, and the fact that I can just flip up the cable management cover and add in new devices without going under the desk is honestly underrated. Anyway, there's an absolute ton of stuff I've shared in this video, so I'll link them all in the description box for convenience if you're interested in getting some of them for yourself. But also, I'm definitely looking to build out this setup a little more, so I'd love to hear from you if you have any suggestions. A big thank you to Secretlab for making this setup possible. These desk setup videos take absolutely ages to create, so if you enjoyed it, please do drop a like and consider subscribing for more desk setups and tech content. If you made it to the very end of this video, make sure to drop the code word comment gamer and I'll give it a big thumbs up. I'll leave a video here to the rest of my desk setup and makeover series to check out. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.